guys, it's Chris the Batman Statue Collector, and welcome back once again to Brotherhood of the Bat Collectibles. I have a really awesome show today, and I have a very, very special guest. This is Mrs. BSC. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, this is my wife, and she has actually been on the channel, I think, one other time. We did like a Star Wars review of the movie, basically, but this is the first time that we're going to be talking about collecting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to say right off the bat that you have always been very, very supportive of, at least for the most part, of my collecting. Would you say that's fair?
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I have given you a long leash.
Long leash. That's very, very true. Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out before we even get started here. I want to shout out to Extreme Collectibles. He did this with his wife, and I thought it'd be fun, so I was inspired by him. And also Jim Mint Collectibles, also, who of course Fee, if you guys watch those channels. But I thought it'd be interesting to kind of pick her brain and see what she thought about my collecting. So we're going to do maybe a series of these. But today I wanted to start out with the top 5 statues that my wife hates in my collection. So that'll be very interesting. But before we do that, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and click that notification bell. Make sure you choose all. That way you don't miss any of this content. So with that said, again, your top 5 least favorite or hated statues in my collection. We're going to go all the way to number 1. That'll be the absolute one she absolutely hates. So 5 is maybe kind of an iffy one. But I have a lot of statues in my collection, clearly, as you can see around you. And the collection has certainly grown over the years. So maybe some of the ones that you didn't like have changed maybe. But we're talking about the current collection. So what's your number 5?
Well, yeah, your collection has definitely changed from where we started. And I like most of the statues that live down here. Most of them.
It's a good thing.
I'm pretty happy with most of the statues that live down here. So number 5, I don't really dislike number 5, but I do. So yeah, number 5 is Mr. Freeze. He's our Prime 1 Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, Prime 1 Mr. Freeze.
He's the Prime 1 Mr. Freeze. Now, I actually like the statue. I think he's super detailed, but a couple of things. Number 1, he's enormous, like absolutely enormous. He takes up so much space. He has icicles that shoot off of him everywhere, and you cannot walk into this room without sliding sideways past the icicles. And I'm just sure that myself or one of the kids are going to break those. And his gun hangs off the table. He's just huge. He's so much bigger. He's sitting next to Harley Quinn, and she looks like she's half his size. So he is definitely on my number 5 list. A, because I'm sure we're going to break him at some point. And B, he has to find a different home. Like, I just hate where he's at.
Well, I know that I have ran into the gun multiple times, and people have said to me,
and you already broke that glass thing.
Yeah, the glass, it came broken.
Yeah, that was already broken once. Like, it's gonna break again.
I was lucky enough, if you guys follow the channel, to get a replacement glass dome. But so many people, after I did my room tour and things, they said, why don't you move Mr. Freeze down the row?
I have been, for the record, whoever said that, I have been saying that for a year, probably.
Yes. And I am considering it, but it's a giant pain to take it all apart and move it. It is still to this date the heaviest statue that I own.
It was very heavy to load in and out of the car. I can tell you that. When it was boxed up, that base was like 1,000-pound box.
So, we have the mail delivered, and it goes to, not our address, but a different address, and you oftentimes bring them home.
I am often the one doing the transportation of said statues, and that one was enormous. Really big. So big that the UPS man had something to say about it when he brought it in. Like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yeah, and it was 2 boxes on that one. The base was basically just 1 box. So anyway, moving it is going to be a problem, but also I kind of, in my head, I have this vision of how it should look on the shelves. And so I might trade places with maybe him or Killer Croc, maybe. I don't know.
I keep saying that. I think you could move Killer Croc down there, and he would be equally big, but not. He doesn't stick off the shelf the way that Mr. Freeze does.
So do you feel like he looks like Mr. Freeze?
Well, I mean, my Mr. Freeze is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh no, that's awful.
I'm not a comic book person, and the only movie Mr. Freeze they've had is Arnold. I know, he doesn't look at all like Arnold.
No, he does not. See, that's the thing about the statue is that, you know, it's definitely a different take on Freeze, but it is often, in the community at least, it's considered to be the best Freeze they've ever done.
I think he's really good. He's just not my Mr. Freeze. Which
Yeah.
kind of leads us to number 4.
All right, so number 4.
So number 4
Number 4.
is what is this guy's name again?
Oh, it's another Prime One Piece, and it's the Arkham Knight.
Oh, it's Arkham Knight. Yes, and I actually don't mind Arkham Knight. First of all, I think he's boring. This is one of his favorite pieces.
It is one of my favorite pieces.
And I don't know why. I think he's boring. I think he's blue Batman. I don't know. I think he's just incredibly boring. I don't know who he is. He's not in any of the movies. He wasn't even in the video games that we played, I don't think. I don't even know this guy. And every time I'm like, who is this again? Why is he carrying a gun? The guns look super out of place. I don't know. He is just not my favorite. I feel like they were just looking for some way to buff up and beef up Batman, and they wanted to put some color on him because everything in here is black. And they're like, oh, we should do some royal bright blue. So we need to create a character where we can put some blue on there. And so they gave us, what is his name?
Arkham Knight.
Arkham, whatever.
So you remember the Arkham Knight game?
Yeah.
That's the Arkham Knight. He's
But
the
you
main
play
bad guy.
Batman.
Well, you play Batman, but he's the main villain.
You must not get to him till the last round.
Well, he kind of pops in and out, and really what he is he is the thought to be murdered by Joker Jason Todd. And Jason Todd, I guess she's not a big fan of the Red Hood, but he ends up becoming the Red Hood. But he has a lot of resentment.
Oh yeah,
to
does
Batman.
he have a red hat?
He does have an
has
alternate. Yeah, he has an alternate head.
Looks like a ghost. Looks like a Pac-Man ghost.
No. He's like a helmet. It's like a red helmet. But I really like him because he is a villain, but he ends up turning to be a good guy by the end of it. Because he has a lot of resentment because Batman never came. Batman thought he was dead, and so he never came back to rescue him.
Your story is almost as boring as the statue.
Oh man, I guess not a Red Hood fan right here, guys, at all. I'm actually starting to really like the character even more, and since this video game kind of revived it, and this character was not known before this game,
Still not known.
No, he's actually now a character in the comic books, but it's actually a female, I believe. So they changed the gender to a female.
Well, I might like her better.
Yeah, maybe, but she has a similar look, kind of. But anyway, I love this statue. I think it's fantastic. It was my second Prime One piece that I ever owned, and I just like it because it was a different take. It was a new character, and I love new characters when they come out like that. So.
I don't understand. He always points this one. He's like, "Oh, this is one of my favorites." I'm like, "Can you tell me who it is again?" I don't know. He's very boring. We're gonna forget that he was even at number 4 on this list because he's very forgettable.
All right. So harsh words for the Arkham Knight, Mr. Freeze. So
look at that giant gun. The only person carrying a gun like that is Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
I
That's
always
pretty
think
good.
Deathstroke.
You and Ledger both always do that. You swap them out.
I should know that one better because I did watch The Arrow.
Yeah, you should. It's Slade Wilson.
Yeah.
And Joe, what's his face?
Yeah, and it had The Arrow on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, she watched The Arrow and The Flash on TV, and I never watched those shows. They're good. Okay, so that was number 4. What's number 3? Are we still on Prime One pieces, or are we?
No, we're out of the Prime. I actually like the rest of the Prime One. The only one that is kind of on my iffy list is Bane. Just again, I think he's boring, but he's not enough for me to really dislike him. He's just not my favorite.
Yeah, not wrong.
But the rest of these guys I do really like. So we're off of Prime One pieces.
Okay.
Okay, so my number 3, again, this is one that he's lived in our house a really long time. But he's that guy. He's the Joker bust.
The Joker bust. No one thinks that bust is creepy.
This bust is super creepy, and its eyes follow you around the house. Scared my niece out of wanting to sleep in the basement for 2 Christmases in a row. And all of that is creepy, but you know what's really creepy about him? His teeth. He has the creepiest, realest teeth you've ever seen. I'm pretty sure he's possessed.
Well, the thing about this is, these are some of the original OG busts, so that they, lack that realism detail. But this piece in particular, the newer busts are a little bit more cartoony. But this thing is so realistic and so, I don't know, it is
super
very creepy.
I feel like he's gonna haunt my dreams tonight for putting him on this list. But I have not liked him since he moved into our house. I think he makes a good offset for the Batman, and so I see how it works in this room to have both of them on either side of this case, but I could do without him.
Now I've shown you the newer Joker bust that's more cartoony. He's got the maniacal eyes. You know which one I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be getting that one too and reviewing that one, and then also like comparing and contrasting to see if it's going to replace this one. I don't know if it will, but and they're also of course doing that new Harley Quinn bust, so that'll probably make my way. She'll probably be like right where my shoulder is eventually, but we'll see. But anyway, I can see why you picked that one. That one's definitely. You've always said it's creepy.
And I really don't care for busts.
Yeah, she hates busts.
I feel like they're stupid.
Yeah, because you don't get it, right?
Right, I just want the rest of the story, not just a floating head.
So, like Infinity Studios, they're actually doing like full torsos, like where you get the two arms.
Well, now it's just a floating half a I mean,
but do you like that better than just the shoulders?
I don't know. I've seen a couple of those. There's the one that looks like their hands are behind their back. Which one is that?
The Joker one? No, that's the Harley one.
The Harley one. Yeah.
See, she's paying attention, folks. I love it.
Those are better, but I still just feel like floating head. I think we could put a, crystal ball around them, and they could be fortune tellers. I don't know.
It's Madame Leota.
Yeah, it's very Madame Leota. I just don't care for busts. I feel like they don't give you the whole story. Even these little guys they tell a story, and I feel like just giving us the face, we miss the rest of the story.
All right.
I just don't care for busts.
That's fair enough. Okay, so ready for number 2?
So number 2 is she our most recent addition?
She is the most recent addition to the collection.
Yeah, so she's the new Poison Ivy. Which one is she?
So this is the Prime 1 1/3 scale Hush Poison Ivy. I got it in and I said, hey, would you want to come down and see her? And she's like, no, I don't really want to. But then maybe 5 days later, I finally drug her down here. And I really feel like, I wasn't quite sure because she's kind of a sexy looking type character and seductive. And I didn't really know if she would love it or not. But what was your comment? Do you remember?
Probably not, but I can tell you what I don't like about her.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
The vine is enormous. It's all vine. It's 85% vine and 15% poison ivy. She is very overwhelmed by her surroundings. And I actually like the vine. I like the art. I like the teeth are super creepy. I mean, she's definitely the scariest poison ivy I've seen. Usually it's just vines that strangle you, but hers look like they're,
the plant monster thing. Yeah. Whatever, the teeth.
Feed me, Seymour.
That's right.
But, she is she is a secondary character in her own statue. And I feel like and that vine is just, again, enormous. Oh, and super heavy, by the way. Super duper heavy. But it's just huge. It goes all the way around her head, and it's thick. I just, actually, I don't much care for this poison ivy either, because I don't like the green skin. But that's not the point. The poison ivy that was here before had the regular skin.
The OG, yeah.
The original poison ivy. And I don't mind that she's hardly wearing any clothes. And their boobs are hanging out, and that my kids are getting anatomy lessons from statues.
Gotta learn somewhere, right?
But at least she's the boss of her own statue. That, by far, the vine is just getting ready to eat poison ivy, as far as I'm concerned.
But you like the poison ivy sculpt itself.
I don't love her hair.
Yeah.
It looks a little
plasticky.
I don't know, Little Mermaid Barbie.
A little plasticky.
I really love her bodysuit. The fabric is sculpted so it looks like fabric, and I have a thing about fabrics on these guys and the way that they sculpt them and make them look. And I really like the fabric on her bodysuit, and she's got beautiful legs and feet. So she's sculpted really nicely, but I do not care for her hair. And to be honest, when you look at the statue, the very last thing you look at is poison ivy. I'm much more in love with that cat. than I am
Than
with
these.
poison ivy. So yeah, we should sell the big poison ivy statue and keep the cat.
Just keep the exclusive. Well, I can definitely see your point on that a lot. I think that it is overdone, and it takes up a tremendous amount of space. Like, it is literally probably the biggest base in all of my. I thought the Deathstroke was a big base. That's up there.
It is a big base.
But this thing is just massive, and I can see exactly your point. I think it's an absolutely stunning statue. I'm really glad that I ended up getting her, because I considered canceling her at one point. But you're right. I mean, she is overshadowed by the actual base. Now, the base does tell a story, which I love. I love the bases.
See,
that do
I like that too, but they didn't have to be like that. They could have just see the vine she's sitting on. That could have gone straight to the head. They didn't have to do this whole halo of vine around her that made it so big and enormous and overwhelming. And it really just, you start looking at the vine instead of looking at the statue. I feel like it's kind of a waste of space.
All right, I can understand that. Okay, well, we're ready for number 1. This is your most hated statue in my collection.
This one is so easy. I can't believe this thing even lives in my house. Anyway, it's the Batman that laughs.
Batman who laughs. Batman who laughs.
If you've seen this statue, you know this thing is the devil. I'm not sure why it lives here. Is it actually supposed to be a Batman, or is it a Joker? I'm really not sure.
So it's an alternate universe where this is Bruce Wayne and Joker that have merged into one evil character.
Well, that is exactly what it is. The little creepy Robins with their teeth and the chains and he's awful. I mean, he's just awful. I don't even... If I could choose one that had to leave this house today, that guy would be packed up in a box.
Sayonara.
Sorry, buddy. You're out of here. You are the weakest link.
So can you at least appreciate like how epic it is with the 3 Robins? Even though they're creepy, could you like that's a really cool base with the chains and the Robins. Like, from an art standpoint, it's like it blows all the other bases away, don't you think? Like, I think it's the best base I've ever seen.
It's the one I want to look at the least.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean, I'm sure that it is artfully done, but it is evil.
It is evil. And it is kind of like a Hellraiser type character.
Oh, definitely. Also, my husband took 45 minutes to try to put the chains on right, and then he kept coming back and zhuzhing them and fixing them, and that was a whole other headache. He would leave it and then go upstairs and come back to the Batcave and have to fix the chains again. He didn't like how they were.
There's a reason why I didn't do that live.
Oh, it was
And it was
torturous.
probably longer than 45 minutes, I bet. I don't know.
I would say so. So it's kind of weird that they were all loose and you were just, here's some chain, put it on here as you see fit. But for me, it's not even that. I mean, that was annoying because somebody obsesses about the way these things look, and when he obsesses about them, he drags me into it and our kids into it, and that can be a little draining. And then to find out that he's so obsessed and can't stop messing with this thing, to find out that it's the triple evils on leashes.
Well, I can definitely see why you don't like that one. It is definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but it is right now known. I mean, this might be Statue of the Year candidate. There's 3 or 4 potential statues, and this is like a kind of one of the grail pieces that people really want. What do you have? What do you have to say about that?
Well, you can sell them yours.
No way! I love this thing.
You sure?
It's one of my favorites.
Let's sell that one and get Sanity.
Well, Sanity that's a whole nother ball game, but I absolutely love that statue. I definitely understand where you come from on all these pieces. I think they're all justified. Yeah, and just the fact that you even know who these characters are mean a lot to me.
Not all of them.
Not all of
that
them,
guy.
obviously. Like Arkham
What's his
Knight,
name?
obviously.
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. But anyway, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for doing these top 5 statues that you hate.
I feel kind of bad that it's so negative.
Well, I think what we should do, if you're willing, I would like to do a top 5
I
statues.
don't hate all of them.
No, I want to do a top 5 statues that you love. Would you want to do that at some point? Not today, but
Okay, can we make it that I like?
like. Yeah, you don't have to say love.
Okay.
Like. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see her top 5 statues that she likes, not loves, And also, just let us know if you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed having you on today. This was a lot of fun, and I would love to do it some more here in the future, and maybe just get your thoughts on what it's like being Mrs. Batman statue collector. Because you could probably write a novel on that.
Were you surprised by any of my 5?
I think Freeze. I understand where you're coming from. It wasn't really a dig on Freeze.
It's not. I actually really like the statue. I just don't like him here.
Yeah, I mean, Joker, that's a no-brainer. I think, I guess Ivy did take me aback whenever you first said Ivy, because, she was new. You always get that new feeling where it's like, oh, that's your favorite one right at the moment, and then for you to immediately say, well, that one sucks. That did take me off guard, but explaining why you don't like it, it's not that you don't really like, you dislike her.
It's not that I dislike the Ivy. I just dislike the composition.
Right. I mean, I don't think there's any of these that you absolutely despise because of the way it looks. Maybe Joker. But I think that you just, and the Batman Who Laughs. But I mean, you can at least appreciate the art and the sculpting. I can appreciate
him. He's super real and he's creepy as all get out. I can appreciate that, but that Batman Who Laughs, I mean, good job to whoever sculpted it. You haunted my dreams. Good job. I think that was your goal.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, again, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to I can't even say it, but I would love for you to read. I would love to read them. And I just thank you guys for watching today. This was a lot of fun, and I would like to do this again if you're willing again, and I think that would be really fun. Again, I'm curious as to what you would say about just, again, being Mrs. Batman statue collector. So we'll see if we do that down the road. But anyway, if you enjoyed it today, please hit that like button. And again, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and also click that notification bell. That does notify you every single time I put out new content. If you choose all, that will notify you on all of them. So again, thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you all. Thank you so very much for watching today, and we'll see you next time
in the Batcave.
Bye, everybody. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.